name is Rita, Twumasi, Department of English Studies, University of Ghana. I'm presenting on evaluation of the candidates in thesis examiners reports, a systemic functional linguistic approach. I seek to follow this in my presentation. Background. Evaluation is an activity undertaken by a person which may be wholly unexpressed or private, or it may involve language, as explained by Hans in 2013. It was 2007 propounded the stance triangle to simplify the act of stance taking, comprising all three aspects of stance, as evaluation, alignment, and positioning. Thus, according to the WASP 2007, stance includes evaluating an object, aligning with the subject, and positioning of a subject, which is mostly the self. The thesis examiner's report, which is an evaluation of the thesis as explained by SFLIG 2015, is a product of an activity undertaken by a person, here an examiner. This activity involves evaluation of entities, which may include the candidate. Broadly speaking, studies on thesis examiners reports can be grouped into two: linguistics and non-linguistics. The first, in which the examiners reports that have tended to the non-linguistic, including studies on communication rates, assessment criteria like Latin 1984, Metal 2020, Metal 2004A. The quality of the thesis examiner's report has also been studied. We can mention the works of the Group and Lambert 2005, Molin and Arisa 2013, and then Bao and Lek in 2013. The rhetorical section has also received attention from studies by Beck, and Anderson 2004, Cook et al. 2007, and then Nimulula 2018. The philosophies that have completed the production of the reports include studies like Mullins and Kela 2002 and since 1987. There has also been comparative analysis on the examiner's report. We can mention the works of Lisa and Robinson 2014. The application of practices and examiners' expectations has also received attention, including the works of Rita 2014 and 2004. Now, increasingly, with the Australian scholars, attention has now begun to be paid to the linguistic form. A few of these are Hugo et al. 2004B, Stafford et al. 2015 and 2017, Strake and Kumar 2010, paying attention to the linguistic choices. But all of that seems to come from the Australian, Asian Pacific, and perhaps the West, and other parts of Africa, like the South. Ghana, in particular, only recently it began to show interest in the study of the examiner's reports. We can have studies like 2015, Afro 2020, and July 2020. But Thomas Akele 2015 has taken the linguistic aspect a step further in employing SFLIG in the study of the examiner's reports. The same thing cannot be said with studies that were done in Ghana and elsewhere in Africa. The reason for which this study is conducted, to add to what has been done by employing a linguistic framework, that is SFL, particularly transitivity, to explore the evaluation of the candidates in terms of the linguistic variants and the grammatical processes associated with this. Research question. The study seeks answers to the following research questions. 1. How is the word candidate previously referred to in the examiner's report of MPhil thesis? 2. What grammatical processes are associated with the candidate as an evaluated entity in the economics reports of electoral practices. The key theory that appeals the president's party is systemic functional linguistics. SFL relates to language used in a social cultural setting by means of mapping out the relationship between language and social context in which it is used. Two concepts in SFL are considered: language as a system of network and meta functions. System means a set of linguistic resources that present options to the language user. The three meta functions are additional, interpersonal, and textual. Using language to talk about the world is the additional. Interpersonal is using language to interact with other people. Textual is organizing language to fit its context. Now, Thompson 2014 notes that these three categories are used as the basis to explore how meanings are created and understood, because they allow the matching of particular types of meanings with particular patterns of words. Transitivity is realized in the experiential components of the ideation and intervention of ethical. It is the lexicogrammatical resource to construct an experience, both outer and inner, and reduces countless experience into a manageable set of process types. Transitivity is concerned with three major components of the process. We have the process, participants in the process, and the consequences associated with the process. Participants are friends and people. They are mostly represented by noun group. Process is the nucleus of the experiential mode of the process. They are actions, events, relations, and states. Process is represented by the verbal group. The circumstances occupy the adjunct element in the process structure. They include extent, manner, and location, and are typically realized by preposition and others. Notably, a choice of process selects the participant automatically. So if you consider figure 1, if the choice process is material, for example, make or identify, then the participant will be an actor, which is the viewer. A participant will be who, which is the sufferer, and then we can ask for the extent of the process. We can also have recipients in the client. The theory, that is SFL, also doubles as the analytical framework for the present study. The study is qualitative and it employs content analysis. It focuses on 100 examiners reports that possibly select from 4 departments, namely English, history, from the faculty of arts, and population and hospitality and tourism management, from faculty of social sciences or University of Cape Coast. Now, except for English, the other selected disciplines have received less attention in the studies of applied linguistics in general and economic language in specific. Hence, they are selected to understand what the practices are, the assessment of people's in University of Cape Coast. Again, the data selected for the study, this examiner's report, is included. So I ended up getting disciplines that were interested in releasing the data for the study. Now, for the collection of the data, an introductory letter was taken to the head of these selected disciplines and the School of Graduate Studies, University of Cape Coast, to seek formal consent. The purpose of the study was explained to them. In selecting the test, I was attracted to a test with at least 2 sentences on a specific issue so that I could ascertain the use of evaluative language to explain. Again, a report was selected if it had addressed all the rhetorical sections of the thesis, like problem statement, social review, methodology, and analysis and discussion. Since these are the core components of the thesis, and School of Graduate Studies, University of Cape Coast also expected examiners to comment on them. I was also interested in the report of MPhil cases. Such programs as this have not been running in the department, and thus it was anticipated that the reports would be available. The selected reports were photocopied. Furthermore, the present study adopted a textual approach. Including the documents, the data were numbered 1 to 25 for each discipline. For example, the first history data was labeled HIS1, that is H1. Next, HIS2, the final one, HIS25. HOT was used to represent hospitality and tourism management. ENG signified data from English, and then POH meant population and health. Tagging the report facilitates the identification of data across the 4 disciplines selected for the study. Findings. 2 main sections are presented. A. Findings in relation to research question 1, that is linguistic variant for candidates, and then B. Findings in relation to research question 2, grammatical processes. Now, table 1, I have distribution of the linguistic variant for candidates. As in table 1, the highest variant was candidates with 975 coherence, representing 70.6%, which is more than half of the total occurrence of all the linguistic variants in the data. This finding is not surprising since a candidate is someone who is being examined or someone seeking to enter the degree. Again, candidate is what is mostly used in the literature. If you consider works like Hugo et al. 2004 A and B, and then Hugo et al. 2007, we can also make mention of works like Kuma and Kuma 2009, Kuma and Straight 2011, Starfield et al. 2015-2017, and then Straight and Kuma 2010. Now, if you consider the data in the table, you will consider that the least written variance was applicant, which was 4 for coherence and 0.3%, followed by author 31% of coherence, representing 2.2%. Now, the various linguistic forms of the thesis reflect individual differences of examiners, who tries to distinguish between what a candidate is and who a researcher is, confirming previous studies like Viscal 2014 and NACO 2020 that differences exist in the structural patterns in the examiner's report, which show individual differences. My point is that whatever they are, these names refer to the entity being evaluated, the candidates, and they reveal rich semantic implications with the varied connotations to show how each examiner conceives the candidates, as each of these terms seems to have different shades of meaning. However, the level of research and writing skills expected from students, candidates, applicants, or others are similar, such as the length of the work and topic understanding. Furthermore, each reference is required to appropriately develop expected rhetorical sections like introduction and literature review in the writing of the thesis. Moreover, their forms of writing should be concise and clear. Thus, whether candidate, applicant, or writer, examiners appreciate well-written, interesting, and logically presented work. Furthermore, the use of this reference can also play on words, as an examiner uses researcher, candidate, and writer to refer to the candidates in the same report. The point is that either the choice of any of these names in the evaluation of the candidates was done deliberately because supervisors were aware of what their meanings were, or the choices were made unconsciously, maybe for the sake of variety, to avoid monotony, or for individual preferences. It must be mentioned that not every use of students, candidates, writer, author or researcher in the study came with negative comments. Some came with positive comments, as shown in the extract below. I'd like us to consider some examples. Extract 1. Candidate admirably shows deep understanding and knowledge of the extant literature. By referring to this evaluated entity as candidate, the examiners may either have in mind first somebody who is being examined, or second, somebody applying for a position or degree. The first option is more applicable, considering the idea that the examiner has to assess the candidate through the thesis to consider him or her fit for the degree being sought. Closely related to the concept of candidate is the use of applicants. Here, the candidate is thought of as applying for either a position or a degree. What this means is that certain criteria must be used, and the applicant must meet certain requirements. Thus, the examiner is there to ensure that both ends are met. It's not surprising for an examiner to assess the applicant and conclude that the applicant writes well, as seen in extract 2. That is, considering the expectations of the department, institution, or the school of graduate studies, the examiner thinks that the writing of the applicant is superb. The examiner expresses his or her feelings about what the applicant has presented, and it is an example of what Huma in 2007 referred to as expressive utterances as a form of feedback. Again, there was the use of writer. So the examiner, the candidate has tried to produce an output, which is the thesis. Now, since writing is essentially a social art, according to 1985, in which the writer needs to construct in a manner conventional in a particular community, it means that some consideration of what is to be included and excluded is necessary in ensuring the finite piece. So we have, at times, the writer falls into the problem of translating key concepts into English. So it means that if you look at this one, the writer falls short of what is expected of him or her, therefore warranting that negative comment from the examiner. Table 2, grammatical processes. Table 2 shows that the material process occurs most frequently. So we have 556 for frequency, which represent 42.1%, followed by the relational process. Then we also have 455 for frequency of occurrence, representing 34.4%. The least of the process was essential, with 56 frequencies of occurrence, representing 4.2%. The material process is more, since the candidate engages in an activity, and the product of that activity is the thesis. With the relational process, the quality of the candidate is identified, with other attributes as being good or bad. Hence, it occupies the second highest frequency position in the data. Now, studies on transitivity have shown that the frequent occurrence of material process in the different data employed for analysis. For example, our Machos 2008 analysis of a main character in the literary text showed that that character was mainly involved in material process. Rogers 2008 also found the most frequent use of material process. Now, while relational process was least in Rose in 2008, it was the second highest in the present day. Now, this can be explained as the data used for the present academic writing, that is the examiner's report, allow for values and attributes to be evaluated. But the literary text used in Rose 2008 allows for conversation and dialogue, and the use of more verbal and mental processes in that data. But least of the relational process, confirming Halliday and Mathis in 2004 that relational and mental processes are characteristics of conversation. Here, with the verbal process, the examiner is seen to be engaging in a dialogue with the reader, but mental process is less in the present data because the recipient of that conversation is not physically present in the discourse to reveal his or her subconscious feelings and thinking. I'd like us to consider some examples. With material processes, an entity does something which may be done to some other entities. That is the express physical experience. We can have actors that take the action, the goal suffering or is being affected by the action. Then we can also have a material process depicting doings or happenings, and they come with a scope and circumstance and goal, in addition to the actor and the process. The analysis and discussion revealed that all these participant rules of the material process were present in the data, though in varied forms and to different extents. In extract 1, we have the researcher develop specific and appropriate problem statement to guide the study. Actor is rendered as a noun group, with there as the determiner and researcher as the head. The actor in the material process, which is the researcher, has the power to initiate an activity. So it is not passive, but a very active agent in determining the value as a positive comment in the evaluation process. The goal is a noun group with an adjective specific and appropriate. It has a noun problem statement added to a prepositional phrase to guide the study, indicating that the actor, which is the researcher, does something which adds to the successful writing of the thesis. Sorry, the problem statement. 2, we have relational process. This construes a relationship between an expression and its content. In the analysis, attributive form was employed because, per the evaluative nature of the report, examiners would ascribe quality to an entity rather than to select one entity out of the set which is identifying. So when you consider a structure, we have it has a very good grasp of the topic. He is a noun group and is the carrier, the bearer of the characteristics. The process type is has and is relational. It serves as a bridge that connects the attributes to the entity. Now the attributes, a very good grasp of the topic, ascribes a quality to him, which is the carrier. Extract 3 is an example of mental process. The censor is the candidate, which is represented with a noun group made of a determiner and noun. The censor is the entity whose mind the mental process occurs. In other words, it is the inanimate entity that experiences this confusion. The mental process is marked by the use of the present tense, assumes, indicating a state of the mind at the moment. Now, Thompson, 2014, signals that the present continuous tense of the verb could be used, but with the present data, none was found, probably because it is academic data and one that has been competed with reports on a thesis, hence the limited nature of the present continuous tense. There is a projection of another clause instead of a phenomenon that the lingua in this context necessarily speaks English in a way. This is a second order use of language, suggesting that what is found in this projection has been alluded to earlier in the clause. That is, what is assumed is that a bilingual necessarily speaks English in a way. Then the next one is the verbal group. Now, the verbal processes are processes of saying. We can have a sayer, a receiver, a verbiage, and recipient. In extract 4, the clause was cast in a passive voice, placing the verbiage, the conclusions in theme position, and the sayer, the researcher, in rem position. Now, by structuring the clause like this, examiners shift attention to the message rather than the producer of that message, the candidate. The last one is existential. That is example 5. Existential process represents what something represents that something exists or happens. So usually you have a determined subject there, which is usually employed, plus the verb or other verbs exist to express an existence, and there's a noun group as the existence. In extract 5, we have an adverb, and then the processes are, which is of the be family verb. It is plural and present, which is influenced by the nature of the existence. In other words, if the existence is plural, the process selected automatically becomes plural too. So the existence is a noun with some weaknesses in some aspects of the line of reasoning of the researcher. This is a statement that portrays negative evaluation of the examiner of that existence. That is, the examiner finds problem with what the candidate has done over them. Significance of the study. The study adds to existing scholarship on evaluation in general and thesis report in specific, but the examiners in a leading university in the country also judge the potential candidates in their readiness to join the academic community by providing positive and negative feedback that will help the candidate to progress, to close the gap between current and desired performance, and to attain the level needed to become a member of the scholarly community. Also, the study aims to study some transmissivity in specific and SFL in general, showcasing that examiners focus more on activity, material content, as well as recognized value or qualities in thesis examiners' reports. Again, the adoption of a theory in the further study also adds to its usefulness in interpreting the findings, highlighting the entity that is evaluated and the grammatical processes associated with the candidate as an evaluated entity. Furthermore, the theory has unearthed the information examiners should focus on, by placing such information in position like the verbiage and in theme position like the verbiage and more in theme position, emphasizing who took the action or what has been achieved in the product. The study also has implications for professional practice, in that the findings of the study showcase some linguistic resources available in referring to the candidate to help examiners improve their writing of the thesis examiners reports and to avoid monotomy. There is also suggestion for further research in transmissivity regarding the use of other meta-functions and exploring the same data, which is the thesis examiners reports. I have some selected references here. So for the Apple divorce, Hassan, Holiday Madison, Stafford, and Twumasi 2022. That's the end of the presentation. I'd like to thank you very much for your attention.